4.2 is solving two equations using substitution. We solved them by graphing. Now we're going to solve them by substitution. So they give you two equations here. Equation 1, 4x plus y equals 3. And equation 2, 3x plus 5y equals 15. So now you can solve one equation for x or y. Remember when we were graphing, we always solved it for y so we could get it in this form. Well, in substitution, you can solve whatever is the easiest. So in this first equation, the easiest variable to solve for is y because it doesn't have any coefficient in front of it, no number in front of it, so we don't have to do any division. So if we solve the first equation for y, all we have to do is get rid of this 4x by using a negative 4x on both sides. And then we'll get y equals negative 4x plus 3. We've solved it for one variable, in this case y. This y then will go into the second equation. So we have 3x plus 5y's, and the y is our negative 4x plus 3. That way we have an equation in just one variable and we can solve it for that variable. So we have 3x we have to distribute here. So we'd have 3x minus 20x plus 15 equals 15. We can combine these x's. So we'll get negative 17x plus 15 equals 15. And remember, to solve for x, we always undo the addition or subtraction first. So we undo the addition, and we will end up with negative 17x equals 0. Then we undo the multiplication by dividing. And we'll get 0 divided by negative 17 equals 0. Remember, 0 divided by number is okay. You can't do negative 17 divided by 0 because that's the KO. That would be undefined. So we found that x is 0. So then we take that 0 and we put it into, for x, into either equation. And again, the first one's the easiest one to deal with. So 4 times our x, which was 0, plus y equals 3. So we'd have 0 plus y equals 3, or y equals 3. So we know that our x is 0 from the solving the first one, and our y is 3. So our point then is 0, 3. So that means if we put 0 and the 3 into each of these equations, it would balance out. So now, I don't know if they'll do this to you in Alex, but they did in WebAssign. So you're going to have some fractions. And so we have this first messy equation, y divided by 4 equals negative x divided by 2 minus 3/4. So you have y over 4 equals negative x over 2 minus 3 over 4. So the first step is to clear all the fractions by multiplying all the numerators, just the top part, the numerator, by the least common denominator. So in this case, the denominators we have are 4, 2, and 4. So the two different ones are 2 and 4. So the smallest number that 2 and 4 will go into is 4. So we take that 4 and we multiply it by every term in the equation, and that will get rid of all the fractions. So this 4 and this 4 are going to cancel, and we're left with y. 2 will go into 2 once, and into 4 twice. We have negative 2x times 2, or negative 2x. These 4's will cancel. Negative 3. So all we've done with equation 1 is got rid of all the fractions. A lot easier to deal with. Equation 2 doesn't have any fractions in it, but it's got some y's on both sides and x's on both sides, so we want to clean this one up. So let's get rid of this negative x by adding a positive x to both sides. We would get 3x minus y equals negative 1 plus y. And then we got y's on both sides, so let's get rid of this positive y with a negative y. So we'll end up with 3x minus 2y equals negative 1. So we haven't done anything so far except clean up these fractions and clean up the second equation. So equation 1, you'll notice, is already solved for y. So all we have to do then is put equation that's solved for y, put our answer for y into the second equation. So this is going to take place of y in the second equation. So we would have 3x minus 2y's, and the y is negative 2x minus 3, equals negative 1. Have to distribute the negative 2. So we have 3x plus 4x plus 6 equals negative 1. Combine the x's. 7x plus 6 equals negative 1. Undo the addition. 7x equals negative 7. Undo the multiplication. And we'll get x equals negative 1. Then we can take our answer and put it into either equation. But equation number 1 is the easiest one to put it in. So this negative 1 is going to go in for the x. So we'll have negative 2 times negative 1 and a negative 3. So this will turn out to be positive 2 because a negative times a negative makes positive 2. And a minus 3, y will equal negative 1. So our point then that satisfies both equations will be negative 1 for the x and negative 1 for the y. So remember, the solution always has to have an x and a y. Okay, and then we're going to next time move on to exponents.